Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back. Welcome back to Michael Glassman. I'm so excited.
It's a pleasure as always to be here.
So this property that we're touring today is one of your projects, one of your art pieces, I would say.
This is a fascinating story because this was actually designed 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And then about less than a year ago, the clients, who's become very good friends, called and said, we travel a lot. We would really like to simplify it. And the theme of the whole place, which is wonderful, they have a Strang house. And Strang was known for their mid-century modern architectural design. But before, 10 years ago, they remodeled the inside and they did an amazing job.
It's incredible. We got a peek in and
it's amazing.
Yeah.
And, but at the same time, they had a backyard that was just empty.
Okay.
They faced out to the neighbor's half-dead Italian cypress. They had one big hackberry tree that was beautiful and then dead lawn. And we started talking and they said, we want to kind of go more into a Zen, almost an Asian feel. Very simple.
Yeah.
So we started coming up, the concept was to unify everything, but to make it relaxing spaces that you could sit, you could enjoy, but still functional. An outdoor cooking area. The storage unit behind us. Because they lack storage. So a unit that was designed to look like the house.
It's just incredible.
The focal point, which I love, is the pond.
Well, I'll show you all a close-up of this in a second. I have to, when I walked back here, we're in the backyard right now. We'll show you all the front yard in a little bit. It was like I was whispering because it was so calm and so relaxing back here. It felt like I was kind of like, at a spa.
Exactly.
You know how you whisper at a spa, right? It's just and we're in the middle of a neighborhood in
a suburban
Davis.
neighborhood.
It's incredible. Okay, Michael, first, can we warn everybody about the sound that you might hear on the roof?
Yes. You might hear some noise, extraneous noise. They're putting on new solar and new roof.
Yes. So if you see anybody walking along the roof, don't be concerned.
Exactly.
They're meant to be there. There's a couple ladders out front you'll see in a little bit, but I appreciate the homeowners letting us come and film.
Absolutely. And this is on the Pence Gallery tour.
It is.
So that's actually one of the significance.
This garden tour will actually be shown the day of the Pence Gallery garden tour. So it's perfect timing, which is Sunday, May 5th.
May 5th.
Yes, May 5th. Okay, so my goodness, this beautiful, beautiful space. Can we start with the...
Let's start with the pond. We wanted a water feature, but we didn't want a pond that was high maintenance, fish and things like that. So instead it's a reflecting pool and I absolutely love it. You'll notice on the bottom, we use the same quartzite.
Oh, you're right.
Yes. So again, when you look down, it's a reflection pool. We use the quartzite that we use for the patio on the bottom of the pool. And one of my favorite things is the face. We were, the clients had seen this at the Whole Earth Festival and they were friends of mine. So we went roaming around and found the artist and said, that's the one. And when you stand in the house and you look out, that's the first thing that you see.
It's so gorgeous. It is so beautiful. And you have actually used a picture of the face in your...
On my business card.
On your business
card.
I
love it. And so this, you can see, it's a monolithic piece of stone. The water just recirculates. They keep it chlorinated, so it's clear water. And there's no fish or plants in there. But it's just a beautiful, relaxing...
It's so relaxing.
It is very relaxing.
I'm so relaxed right now. So let me ask you about the bamboo in the back. Is that...
It is clumping bamboo. It's Bambusa oldtamai. It's a giant timber clumping bamboo. Not a running one. It's not going to take over. This has been in for 10 years. 10 years. But you can see how tall it is.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is the same bamboo that they make furniture out of.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah. They dry it and they actually make bamboo furniture out of it.
Wow.
But it's the giant timber clumping bamboo. I love it.
Yes. And it's not going to spread.
It's not going to be spread.
Kind.
You can see this has been in for 10 years.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, though, when you get a new shoot, it pops up and within a day, it'll grow maybe 4 to 6 feet. I mean, you almost can watch it grow. And then they get fatter and then they just continue to develop and get higher. When we first put it in, it was probably about 10 feet tall. And now it's probably 40, 50 feet.
It's incredible. And it's kind of necessary with the cypresses next door. So these cypresses right here are in the neighbor's property.
Yes, yes. And again, you know, it's one of my landmark things that I tell everyone, and Janey tells everyone: stain your fence.
Stain your fence.
Stain your fence. So the fence is a dark, it's bear stain, it's slate gray, it's almost a black. And the thing I love about it, it disappears. It becomes the backdrop for all the plants that pop.
Oh, this is so incredibly beautiful.
Yeah, I love that.
This is, so this is a Zen garden.
This is a Zen garden.
Right? But it's a relaxing Zen garden. And then tell us about what you were just telling me about less maintenance.
Yes. Well, originally, as I said, there were some changes. This was all here, but where the table and chairs are and the couch was, that was a no-mow lawn.
Oh,
it was
okay.
kind of a negative space. And the homeowners travel a lot, and they came to me and they said, we want to simplify this yard, less maintenance. So we took out the lawn, and it took a while to match, to find it, but using the same quartzite stone, expanded this area, which, to be honest with you, I love it. I just love the expanded, less maintenance, more usability, more function. I mean, who wouldn't want to sit there?
I know, right next to the fountain.
Right next to the pond.
It's beautiful.
And then you can see all of the planting that's developed. This was a bush. It's a Myrtus communis. It's a myrtle.
This tree
was a bush.
Oh my goodness.
And then underneath it, those are Fatsia japonica, Japanese Aurelia.
Beautiful. I want these in my garden.
Aren't those cool?
They're the most beautiful, glossy.
No maintenance.
Yeah. So the homeowners are not here that often.
So this is less maintenance to take care of. And then what we also did was, there used to be more bamboo.
Okay.
There was bamboo over there that was, again, clumping bamboo, but it was a variety that was dwarf, and it was called Alphonse Carr, and there was bamboo here. The problem was it pretty? Yes, but it was so messy.
Oh.
So you constantly had to clean up the leaves, and it was falling all over everything. So we took out, the only bamboo we left in the yard was a giant timber bamboo.
Okay.
We took out the other bamboo, and then we planted the Podocarpus graciliar, which I love, which is going to give you an evergreen screen so you don't see the neighbors, but the maintenance factor is like 1/60th.
Right. And these are a year old, is that right?
These are a year old.
So they're going to get a lot bigger.
A lot bigger.
Do you know how the height of them?
Oh yeah, 35 feet.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, and you can top them and they'll fill out. Like mine at my place, they're already at about 20 feet.
They're big.
And then some of the things that you're going to see is like the screen. That was a custom designed screen. In fact, every one of those.
Let's go take a closer look.
Let's look.
Because it's worth a closer look. It's actually one of the first things that I saw when we walked in here, because I just thought it was so interesting.
When they remodeled, they added a door off the bathroom, the master bathroom.
Okay.
So you come out here, and they told me they wanted a spa. Well, to me, just dumping a spa right in the middle of nowhere, it doesn't
make sense.
It doesn't. It looks like it dropped out of the sky. So we made this more of an environment. So the spa's off the bathroom, but we designed this decorative fence. All of these are all hand-tied copper.
You guys, look at this. This is just it's wood, right?
It's wood.
It's wood, and then they've taken hand-tied copper on each crossing point, and it just elevates this.
It does.
I'm obsessed with this. I love it.
And then the one thing we designed was the moon gate.
Yes.
So you not only look through and you can see the pond, but you also see the silhouette of the serpentine cedar, which that's like a living piece of art. I mean, that is the most gorgeous serpentine.
This serpentine cedar, which is a Michael Glassman trademark,
right?
Yeah,
I love them.
Like, do you put them in every?
No, I don't. There are a lot of people that I'll mention it to them and they'll go, I don't like that.
Really?
No, it's funny because it's all a personal preference. For me, they're like a piece of an art statement, but I'll show people that and they'll say, I don't like that. It depresses me.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It's really funny.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
But I mean, look at this. This is 10 years old, and look at the shape. The shape blows me away.
This is probably the most beautiful one I've ever seen.
Yeah, I love this.
It's so gorgeous, and it's so like just maintenance free. They don't have to worry about it.
Right. And then you can see with the spa back there, it's purposeful, but it doesn't look like it just got dumped there.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, this is gorgeous. I need to go get one of these and put them in my garden just so it can start growing. Oh my goodness.
And then you can see a large patio for dining. The outdoor kitchen over here, which is right off the back door. There's a sleeve in there so that if it gets too hot, you can open an umbrella. And then this was an interesting thing. We had designed this yard. There was a big hackberry tree.
Right there?
Right there. And it was thriving, and then it died. It died. So all their initial shade, all of their initial privacy. So what we did was we planted, we went ahead and planted anyway a ginkgo.
It's gorgeous.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Oh my goodness, it's gorgeous. And this is the tree that turns like bright yellow in the fall.
Bright yellow. And then what I said was just keep the stump and we'll put a little Japanese lantern on it.
Yeah, it's devastating that they lost that tree.
I know. And then again, this was bamboo that we switched over to the podocarpus.
To make it less maintenance.
And here's some things that I think your viewers will really enjoy. Just accenting. You know, it's not that I don't like pots. I love pots.
Yeah.
But less is more. So I'll use one pot to kind of accent the space. So you'll notice over there, one gorgeous pot with a Japanese maple.
It's just stunning, Michael. It's stunning. Do you know what kind of Japanese maple this is?
Yes, this is a,
I'm asking right now. Tell me later and I'll
Viridis.
Okay.
Viridis. Viridis.
It's stunning.
Or Virdis, yes. It's a Viridis. It's a lace leaf Japanese maple green. It does have good fall color, but I love it because it's so dramatic.
It's so beautiful. The structure in this garden, I mean, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Every single little thing here has incredible structure. It's impressive.
Right. Well, and that's what I kind of explain to some people is if you've got a skeleton, if you've got this really wonderful bone structure, then you can accent even just adding some color to a table decoration or tablecloth or pillows suddenly elevates it. But you need this, in my opinion, you need the structure, you need the skeleton to put it all together, and that way it all flows. So you're not looking at this thing and this thing and this thing. You then see pieces like we talked about, art in the garden. Well, each individual, the serpentine cedar, the face in the pond itself becomes the art piece that you look at that is dramatic.
Even the shed.
Yes.
Is an art piece.
Yes.
So this is their storage shed.
That's their storage shed.
That they store, I don't know, like pond stuff in.
Oh, pond stuff and furniture and pads and everything, even down to the
oh yes.
channel
Look
drain.
At this. Oh my goodness.
And these are removable panels so you can clean out the drain, and this was custom made.
Oh my gosh, it's incredible. Did you design the shed?
The architect designed the shed so that they would tie in the inside and the outside, the new house with that. So
it's incredible.
I love it. I absolutely love it
so much. This whole place is just completely relaxing. Can you tell me, would you consider this a dry creek?
Yes.
Right here?
So the idea was that you have the pond and it continues over the stones and then goes into the dry creek bed.
Oh, I love it. It's so funny because you would never think, I'm going to put a bunch of rocks over here, but it works. It's so beautiful. And then having the shrubs around it.
These are short junipers. And the thing is, again, when you're doing a dry creek bed, you don't just line the whole thing ring around the rosy.
Right.
It's where you place the big rocks and then the smaller ones. You don't place these. You actually put them in a wheelbarrow and throw them wherever they land.
Isn't that amazing?
So it's more random.
Oh.
And then even coming around here, which I love, and you can see we used the same flagstone, but in large pieces as a walkway.
This is just gorgeous, Michael. It's just gorgeous.
So the side yard was basically just a way to get from front to back.
Right.
There's two different gates, but what we wanted to do was when you look out the windows, these are guest bedrooms.
Yeah.
We wanted something for each of the bedrooms to look at. So together another pot with a Viridis Japanese maple, and then a pot with a tree fern.
You are so good at doing this. I mean, the fact that you think about looking out the windows and what you're going to look at, do you know what I mean? Like that's never, I never think about that.
You know, for me, if I can get away with never having a shade on a window, but being able to look out the window and see something beautiful, and someone's roof and someone's windows is not my idea of beautiful. So It's like, again, it's like creating these individual vignettes so that when you look out, you have something wonderful to see.
It's stunning. It like even the side yard is incredible. It's
Thank you.
Really, really neat. So I am noticing a whole bunch of lighting everywhere.
This, again, when you're designing and when I think about it, it's not just a daytime thing. It's also what happens at night. And so this is magical at night. Each one of the Japanese maples, the tree fern are lit. At night, the pond is lit. You also have, you'll notice, the ginkgo is lit.
The ginkgo's lit. Oh, I bet that's
the Japanese maples are lit. The pond is lit. The serpentine cedar. So it creates this really wonderful silhouette. And
so what is this?
Okay, so the last book I worked on and I wrote was called The Garden Bible, and I wrote it with Barbara Ballinger. And this was one of the yards that we featured, and it was we called it the Zen Garden.
Oh, there it is.
And there's your before of the front.
Yep. Oh, so I have before photos. So I'll put a before photo right now of the back.
Right.
Right. So you can see what
and
it looks like.
And then that was the backyard.
Oh, there it is.
Part of that was against the house, and the picture I sent you was looking out.
And there's the hackberry.
Hackberry, yeah.
Oh man. So okay. So here's the kitchen where we're standing right here, and then right behind it was that beautiful hackberry that you guys worked around. Oh, that must have been so disappointing.
And you can see where the bamboo was that we've replaced. This was Alphonse Carr bamboo, and we replaced it with the podocarpus.
Wow, wow. This book is so cool. I was taking a quick peek through it. The way that you guys have separated it, basic like budget, challenges, key design details, wish list for the clients. It's such a cool book. It's a very neat book.
Thank you.
I'll put a link to it in the description down below.
That sounds good. It's called The Garden Bible.
The Garden Bible. I love it. So, man, it seriously feels like a spa back here. Wouldn't that be amazing to have this as your yard?
I always imagine, can you imagine coming out here and doing yoga every morning?
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's just, and as I said, I like the change. I mean, I love the no-mow grass that we had back there because it was a negative space.
Yeah.
But expanding the patio gives them even more area to be able to sit and enjoy. And again, a lot less maintenance.
A lot less maintenance, which is just so fun because it's good to see that you can still have a beautiful garden that just doesn't take a lot of maintenance.
Absolutely.
Right? And as a gardener, it's like, well, I don't care about that. That's fine. But a lot of people, especially if you travel a lot, they can't have a high maintenance garden.
Well, and that's a big thing with a lot of clients. It's not, I love plants. Trust me, you know that I love plants. I take care of my whole yard. But the reality is it's not about money. It's about time. Yeah. Time is the most valuable thing that we have. And if you're working 24/7 and taking care of a family and trying to have a life, being able to take care of your entire yard, if you want it to look pristine, which I'm anal, so I want it to look pristine, you have to budget a certain amount of time. And if you don't have that time, then it becomes more of an irritant than relaxing because you're going, I got to go out and do this. I got to go out and do this. I don't have time to do this. And so you look around and it's like, it's no longer relaxing. It's just chores.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very good point. The pond is so, I'm just sitting here taking big, deep breaths. I love it. So yes, we can see people on the roof. I want to talk, can you talk about this beautiful tree right here?
Yeah, that's another hackberry. And again, that's what that tree was over here. So, but what again, the whole idea of Shikai is borrowing from the neighbor's landscape.
Say that again?
Shikai.
Shikai.
Yes.
Never heard that.
And it's the whole concept of borrowing a landscape that's not yours. It's incorporating.
Yeah.
So you can see when you stand here, you could be, I mean, you don't know you're in a suburban neighborhood.
No, you could be anywhere. I mean, you could be in Italy with the cypress trees.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just so beautiful. And it's really, I think you've done a great job. This is more lighter green, the cypress or darker green. And then you have this silver.
Yeah.
You did
and
so
remember we talked about at my place, the Hinoki cypress?
Yes.
Well, that's a Hinoki cypress.
Tell everyone about your Hinoki cypress.
Okay, my Hinoki cypress have been moved. I actually got tired of them hitting people where the couch was, so I moved them to my shade garden.
Yes.
So they're now along the fence, and where I used to have the Hinoki cypress are now red camellias, the Yuletide, with lots of spillers, and I even put some red impatiens. So it's gorgeous. Beautiful. So it's full, it's beautiful, but it's not going to poke someone.
Yeah.
You know, and you can see the cypress in a shaded environment. It's just absolutely, it's a work of art.
It's stunning. When Michael told me he wanted to move his cypress, I was like, no!
But I didn't get rid of them.
Yeah, thank goodness. Can we go see the front yard?
Let's go see the front.
So let me start off with a before shot of this front yard, because the difference is really incredible. The before shot, it kind of just looked like a pretty boring.
It was dirt, and the builder, the one interesting thing is the builder had put the stone, what it looked like a planter along there, but when we came in to design it, there was no back to it.
Ooh.
So if you were to fill it with dirt, you'd rot out the back of the house.
So what was in it? It was just an
nothing.
Empty...
It was just a wall.
Oh, gosh.
And I said, you know, that would make an amazing planter.
Yes.
So we had the contractor and we designed a back to it, concrete block. We did a cap. We kept an airspace so that there's no moisture getting to the house.
Oh,
and then planted this out with, you can see, sago palm and asparagus ferns.
It's gorgeous.
I love it.
So this is a pretty shaded front yard.
This is a very shaded front yard.
I think it's north facing.
Yes, and one of the things that just makes it amazing is the client said to me, we talked about it, you know, and again, what your viewers need to understand is, as a designer, I will infuse ideas, I will infuse, you know, what works and what doesn't, but I'm not the type of designer that says, this is what you have to have.
Yes.
And it's very organic. So when I met with the clients, they said to me, we do a lot. We go back east a lot. We love the European white birch. And I said, you know, I'm going to pre-warn you, in some conditions, if they get stressed, they can get a borer. Yeah. And they said, we're willing to try. So we put these multi-stem birch in.
They're so beautiful.
They're 10 years old and they're stunning.
They look healthy too.
They are very healthy. And I think one of the reasons that they're healthy is because they don't get the really hot sun, so they don't get stressed.
Yeah.
See, the birches like a little bit more shade in the inland valley.
Yeah.
And so when they get stressed, that's when the borer moves in. Yeah. These aren't stressed. So, I mean, my God, look at them, they're thriving.
It just adds so much to this front yard, and it fits with the property and the design of the property. It's gorgeous. Can you tell me about the steps? Because
yes.
I think that is just...
So what we wanted to do was a little bit more formality. So we used the same quartzite, but instead, this is quartzite as what's in the back, but this is quartzite tile.
Cut
cleanly, and that's quartzite flagstone.
Got it.
Same material, so it flows inside out. And the thing that I like about it is it keeps the materials the same, but it gives a little bit of formality. Because again, I broke some rules. Yeah. I kept the front a little bit formal with the walkway.
Okay.
So you have this really kind of, and the reason behind this was, you'll notice the front entry.
Okay.
The reason I used the tiles was when the builder put this in, this was in.
Yeah.
This was just up to here. And I said, well, it's pretty, I like it, it's quartzite. So we're going to continue it along the driveway. And then we're going to use it for a new walkway coming up.
So you just seamlessly incorporated this.
Exactly.
But how does that break rules?
Well, you would think that people would say, well, why didn't you use the flagstone from the back and the front? But again, there's a reason. There's a reason.
Yeah.
Because the front walkway right to the front door was already in. I didn't want it to go from tile to flagstone, and then it was like, well, what, did they run out of tile?
That would have looked weird. Yeah.
I mean, I have my little idiosyncrasies. I'm the first one to admit.
Yeah, but and then it looks like it's meant to be.
Isn't it cool?
Beautiful. So I want to point out again, this is what's called a string home. It's a mid-century modern designer, right? Architect.
Yes. Architect.
They're, oh my goodness, they are like, you live in a string? Wow.
Exactly.
You know, like everybody knows about him.
20, 30 years ago, that wasn't a big deal. But now, because the movement of mid-century modern, people want this architecture. You can see it's the windows, it's the squared off.
Yeah.
It's a very unusual architecture.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the roofer's water bottle, just so you guys know. But it's so interesting. And for those of us who live out here, we can see a string and we say, oh yeah, that's a string.
It's a string.
That's a string.
And then the thing that's neat is for ground cover, instead of doing lots of, I chose to do a no-mow. This is Creeping Red Fescue. It's a no-mow. It looks, I wanted, from when you stand out in the street and you look, I wanted it to look like the house was in the middle of a meadow.
Oh, yeah. This is, I'm not to bring it to me, but this is what you were talking about for my front.
For your front. I want the feeling. Again, when you start looking at, these are red buds, that's a red bud.
Oh, okay.
And this is a red bud over here.
Oh, okay.
So they before they got their leaves, they had the magenta flowers.
Gorgeous.
So again, so that when you come up here, you have this no-mow, and then I've had the contractor add, you know, some wildflowers, this salvia, which will bloom and everything, so it almost looks like a wildflower meadow.
And it just gives it a little, like, just little dots of color.
Little dots of color.
Nothing too in your face. I think, did you add the rocks?
We did.
That is incredible.
We did. This is a recent ad because the no-mow was coming, and it looked, for me, it looked a little messy.
Okay.
So what I did was I had them take the no-mow out around the walkway and put the rocks, so it almost looks like a dry creek bed coming down.
I love it.
It's, you know, I mean, you know, what can I say? The big boulders I love, those were there.
They're gorgeous. They're just so beautiful. And then the gate.
Isn't the gate cool? Yeah.
That?
Well, again,
was that the designer, the house designer?
No, I designed those.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, they had old rickety gates, and I said, you know what, you need new gates, so we designed those. Again, if you look at the architecture of the house, I did these gates to kind of mirror the architecture of the house.
They're beautiful.
So these were just added. So as I said, the original design and the
is this walkable?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's a grass. So originally, everything was put in 10 years ago, and the remodel and the renovation was done the beginning of this year and the end of last year.
And that was just to kind of simplify everything.
That was to simplify, to change the gates, to clean things up.
So that's where we were looking out. Oh, and look at the lemons hanging from the lemon trees.
Those were existing. We didn't want to get rid of them, so we kept them.
Oh, they're just beautiful.
And you can see, I mean, along here, I mean, this is just so cool.
You did a good job on this one.
Thank you.
This one is, like, it feels different than the other one. You know, it feels so much more calm, and I can tell that you were kind of restrained a little bit. You know what I mean? But it turned out just so incredible. I'm just in love with it.
I am too, and the thing that I love about it is there's not, you know, some people would say, oh, there's not a lot of color. There isn't. It's more of texture. But again, if you study Japanese gardens, if you study, especially Asian, but the Japanese garden, less about color, more about texture, more about not only texture, but art, emphasis, structure.
Yeah.
Simplicity. Simplicity is the most important thing.
You know, I almost think it's harder to design with less color.
Yeah.
It's super easy, you know, and I'm saying this myself because this is what I do. Just throw in a bunch of color, and of course it's beautiful. To do something like this, where it's just mostly green.
It's mostly green.
It's very simple. It's very calming. I mean, literally, I want to take a nap in their backyard.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the thing that's neat about what I love about the European white birch, I mean, look at the detailing on this, and then you pick up the boulders. And again, we use the idea of the boulders to kind of pick up everything, pull it all together.
Yeah. And I can't express to you all enough, like we're in a neighborhood. We're in a neighborhood with not huge homes, not huge properties, and this is what you can do. You can make a property feel like a spa retreat, an Asian Zen spa retreat. It's really, really incredible.
I always tell the old saying, you know, everyone laughs, less is more. Well, sometimes less design is more effective than over designing a space. See, then there we have a squirrel, kind of.
Oh. Hello, squirrel. So they're happy.
Yes.
So you've been doing this for 40 years.
40
right?
years.
I can say that.
Yes.
You're not old.
I'm old, yeah. I'm a dinosaur.
Did it take you a while in your career to be able to do simple things like this?
A lot of it, and I have to even advice to people is a lot of reading. When I travel, one of the things that I do, yes, I love to travel, but I travel to places where I'm going to get inspiration. So if I go to France, if I go to a place, I don't, yes, the food is wonderful and the sights are great, but I also try to see the gardens, the flora and fauna, because I want to see how it influenced the architecture, how it influenced it. And those things for me, I store into my brain. I spent a lot of time studying Asian and Japanese gardens. I had a passion for Japanese gardens early on when I was in school, and so I read lots of books.
Yeah.
And the overwhelming theme was simplicity, the clean lines, the textures, the simplicity, and color was not stressed. You use maybe one color as an accent rather than the whole thing being colorful. Very different than English gardens, which I love.
Yes.
So trying to incorporate that, and then the materials, the simple materials. So what my advice to people is read books. I mean, yes, the internet is great and you can look at pictures, but if you can get a book, read books, old magazines. The one thing, old sunsets are amazing.
No, I love them.
I love them. I love the old
so
garden
much.
designs and everything. And then kind of think in terms of a little bit out of the box. Because that's the one thing that you will see as we tour different gardens. I try not to make all of the things I design look the same. Everything is kind of different. If you compare this to my house, and I love this. I live here in a heartbeat.
Yes.
It's very different than mine.
This does not feel like any other garden you've showed me thus far.
Right.
Which is really interesting.
Right.
And then remember that one we went to, Megan's?
Megan's,
Big
which I have to tell you.
Oh.
Okay, I went to see your new property yesterday.
Oh, is it
She actually moved to a place on a lake. We just walked through. We are coming up with some really amazing ideas. It'll blow everyone away. But
before tour.
Yeah, I mean, her place. I just walked through. I spent about 2 hours with her, giving her ideas. The house is really different. It almost looks like a bow of a ship with big glass, 2-story panes of glass overlooking the lake. It's real, but so funky. Cool. Yeah. Very, very. It is not the typical house that people would go, oh yeah. It's a very unusual architecture. I love it. I love it.
How much fun is that going to be to design?
It's going to be really fun. And she's game.
She's so awesome.
Yeah.
I will link the video down below. It is one of her last property. It was one of the most beautiful properties I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's completely different than this Asian Zen. It's like, how would you describe her property?
The ultimate outdoor living, a little bit on the formal side, very European. Horn beams, the glass conservatory, greenhouse, even when the pool design, patios. It was very European, very formal, very over the top a little bit, Completely. I mean, the chandeliers we picked were...
But it was incredible.
It was incredible, and someone that loved plants. This is very relaxed, zen, quiet,
somebody
peaceful.
Who loves to travel. And somebody who loves to
relax.
They
spend a lot of time in the Orient, which is wonderful. So when they come home, it's not like a big departure from where they've traveled to. They feel like they have it in their own backyard, which they do.
This is incredible. Thank you so much for
my pleasure. You know, you and I have so much fun.
We have so much fun.
Yeah, we do.
And it's so funny because Michael will say, do you want to tour this house? And I'll say, yes. And then we'll just talk about it forever and get so excited about it. So I just so appreciate you taking the time to show us what you've done. And I appreciate the owners. Like, they are wonderful.
They are wonderful,
It's so sweet of them to let us come here and open up their home to everybody and to the Pence Gallery tour and all that fun stuff. So do you have more tours for us in the future?
Oh, I do. I'm lining some up. I mean, when I get back, I'm going to the south of France for my birthday.
Can we talk about that?
Yes, I will take lots of pictures and send it to you. But yes, I'm going to line up some other. Again, I look for something that your viewers will say, that's different. I never thought of that, or that solves. And again, a lot of it, a lot of it is, besides trying to incorporate the architecture, the inside outside, is a lot of problem solving.
Yes, and I think that that's what is so useful about these tours with you, is that we're not just looking at a pretty house. We're looking at a house that you explained to us the problems that you solved and how you did that and why you did that,
Right.
and why the owners wanted this, and you know, it makes it really interesting, and I mean, at least for me, it makes me think.
And
about
even I'll just say real quickly, as you're looking at it, even in the front yard, the whole idea of separating your modes of transportation. Instead of people walking up the driveway, you give them a separate walkway that you experience the landscape. That way, if a car's backing out, you don't run someone over.
Yeah, that's
and
nice.
It gives you different separations of you know, cars have cars and have driveways, people have walkways.
Walkways. I love it. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much. I appreciate your time, and if we don't see you before then, happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's a big one, right?
It's, yeah, a very big one.
We won't talk about it. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.